In 2016, about 76% of women of reproductive age who were married had their contraception need met with a modern contraception method. This fell to about 50% in the African region. Also, the adolescent birth rate in 2015 was 44 per 1,000 girls aged about 15 to 19 years, ends the Sustainable Development Goal 3, which is to ensure universal access to sexual and reproductive health care services, including for family planning, information, and education, as well as the integration of reproductive health into national strategies and programs by 2030. As the world celebrates this year's International Youth Day, our focus on the show is on raising awareness on the use of contraception by youth in the society or in the world at large. I'm Olasunbo Modupe. Welcome to Contraceptive Matters with DKT Nigeria, the best of 45 minutes on TV when it comes to contraceptives. Please stay with us. The program continues in a moment. DKT Nigeria. This show is made possible by DKT Nigeria, one of the largest private providers of reproductive health and contraceptives in the country. This year's theme is Youth Building Peace. I'm talking about the International Youth Day, celebrated across the world. The role of youth in nation building has been emphasized, but we are looking beyond that on today's edition. The Family Planning 2020 is an ongoing campaign tagged Your Life, Your Campaign, which centers on a vision of a world where every pregnancy is wanted. Our focus is to improve awareness of contraception and to enable young people to make informed choices on their sexual and reproductive health. I have with me in the studio today 3 lovely youth. Sitting close to me is Anita Yegeni.
Thank you.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
You look beautiful. I like your hair.
Thank you.
And sitting next to Anita is Michael Eke.
Thank you
Welcome
so
to the program.
Thank you so much.
And on my far left is Ayomide Afolabi.
I'm pleased to be here. Thank you.
Okay, how are you all doing? Welcome to LWT Studios.
Thank you for having us.
So to start with, I'm sure you all know that today is observed at the International Youth Day across the world, and the theme is the youth building peace, the role of youth in
Peace building.
Peace building.
Yeah.
It has been emphasized the world over, but today we are looking at something else entirely, because the youth has a major role to play in all of that. We are looking at youth and contraceptives. To start with, what do you know about contraceptives?
Well, I know that contraception or contraceptive, as you said, involves the use of different methods in preventing unintended pregnancy and also in preventing life-threatening infections. You know, like I said, there are different methods. So some people who has not given birth may want to use it to prevent pregnancies, like the youth. Some people who have given birth may want to use it to just delay pregnancy for a period of time. That is child spacing. While some people who have given birth to enough children may just want to, they may decide to stop giving birth, and then they want to use a particular method to just stop giving birth. So it involves different methods of preventing unintended pregnancy.
Okay, Michael, what's your view about contraceptive?
Okay, Sumbo, for me, contraceptive is a deliberate act or a deliberate measure or means used to prevent pregnancy. So you could take note of the fact that the word there is deliberate. It has to be a deliberate and conscious act.
Okay.
And it means for you to prevent pregnancy.
Okay.
So it simply means that at that particular point in time, you are not interested, or at that moment, you're not willing to get pregnant. So there are various means, methods, in which you can use to prevent pregnancy. So the use of that is contraceptives.
Okay, Ayomide, don't worry, I'll get to you. Do you share the same opinion with them?
Yes, I actually just share the same opinion with them. And to me, I like to term contraceptives as a life planner. It helps you plan your life because you know what you want at that point, especially someone of sexually reproductive age. You're not ready to have children. You have goals and you have dreams you want to fulfill. So using contraceptives help you plan your life, the time you want to have your kids and the number of kids you want to have. So generally what they've said is right. Contraceptive involves various methods and it helps you plan your life.
Okay, also, how did you know about it?
Okay, so I'm a microbiologist.
Oh,
so I
that's
studied,
good.
thank you, I studied science. So while working in the lab, people come to carry out tests for pregnancy. People come to check for different STDs. So with that, I was able to research further on how to prevent all these situations.
Okay.
So by doing that, I decided to go to Google, everybody's friend.
Okay.
So I decided to search on how to prevent all this unintended pregnancy, contraceptives, and I came across something, it's called honey and banana.
Okay.
And I was wondering, is this like a hair cream? Is this a body cream? Is this a yogurt or something?
Okay.
So it was really interesting. And then I opened it, and then I saw everything concerning how, like, contraceptive.
Like a one-stop.
Yes. And that was like the answer to
know.
everybody's problem. Okay. So that's how I came across contraceptive.
Okay, what about you, Michael?
Well, I'm an entertainer, and I'm a guy also. So you know, obviously, we guys, we share words on the street. We ask questions. When we're stranded, we want to know something new.
Stranded,
for example,
I like that word. What do you mean by stranded?
Stranded is when you're in a situation where you can't help yourself. You lack information to help you go through that. So obviously, you need to reach out to friends. You need to reach out to people. So, and you know, we guys, we like to experiment. We like to try different things. So I got to know about contraceptive from asking friends, from questions I asked my friends while I was in school, you know, when I needed to find out a solution or a means of this. So, and I'm sure my fellow guys out there would agree with me, because we guys will ask questions a lot.
Okay, don't worry. In the course of the program, I'm going to ask you about the experimentations. You're going to share some with us. So, Ayomide.
Yes, well, basically I'm an health enthusiast. I like anything related to health. So that makes me very curious about anything and everything at all. So, well, I studied public health, so I I'm well informed about contraceptives because I took a whole course on reproductive health and family planning.
Okay.
So I had extensive knowledge on contraceptions, the various methods, family planning, and counseling as well. And in the course of that, I was able to research.
Okay.
I did an extensive research on contraceptions, and I found out that there are very many various ways you can get information about it, which includes, in addition to what she said about honey and banana, because I've actually heard about that website and I've had to go through it.
Okay. It's
quite an interesting place to be. There are also short codes where you can actually ask contraceptive questions. Like sending RHS to 38350.
Okay.
That is very helpful. I tried it once, and even not just once, I told my friends about it.
Okay.
And it was very responsive.
Okay.
Yeah, let me add something to what she just said. In one of the experiments you talked about, there was a period when I was a little bit confused. I didn't know how to make my next move. I didn't know how to do things right, because you have to do the right thing so you don't get into problems. So I had to ask my friends, and they gave me the number of a health provider. I think it's 080-9027 9018, and I called the health provider, and he was awesome. He was friendly.
Okay.
He asked me the questions that he needed to ask me. How did it start? How, he asked me wonderful questions, and he was calm with me, and I felt at home discussing my problems with him. So it was really helpful. So
there are actually platforms out there where people can gain necessary information about reproductive health products or needs and all that. Okay, let's move ahead. You said you had some experimentations. Can you please chip in one or two?
Okay, I'll start this.
And at what point did you have to maybe like talk to your friends? Okay,
all right. A few years back when I was in the university, I had relationship, of course. Then I was in a period when my girlfriend told me she couldn't see her period, and she's not stable. So I was confused. I started doing some calculations. I had to look at the calendar.
What calculations?
Actually, it turned me into a mathematician overnight.
Okay.
I started doing calculation and asking myself questions. I was browsing the internet because I'm a learned person, so I have to make the right move and the right decision. So I was making some questions and trying to find out if what is what actually is. And most of the young guys out there, when such situation turns in, that's where they go to, because they don't want to have their future terminated. They don't want to have a break in their...
Let me cut you there. If you don't want your future terminated, so why did you venture into that journey?
Yeah, like I said, life is adventurous, So venturing into journey in life, you learn along the line. So if you're going in life and you don't make mistakes, trust me, you're not learning. Okay. You understand? So you have to venture into the unknown so that you find out what is there. Yeah, so that's it.
Okay, so why do you find it difficult to talk about contraception?
Interesting question. I think I'm going to narrow it down to the society at large, because we find ourselves in a society where we as youths are really very scared to talk about anything sexual health, because we're going to be shut down by the society. There's this need for secrecy about sex among the youths. Like they don't feel comfortable talking about their sexual life, about intercourse or anything. So the secrecy, the society has made it such that you can't even voice it out, or you will even be shut down at that instance. And that has led to a lot of unintended pregnancies, a lot of situations, and the problem is that with that is that from unintended pregnancies, they try to have abortions, and from there, we know the situation on ground,
maternal mortality,
unsafe, leading to death. So the society contributes largely to reasons why youths don't really talk about contraceptives.
Okay, Anita, do you share the same thoughts with her?
Yes, I do. I like what she said, the society. And then also another set of people the society has affected greatly are our providers, our doctors and our nurses.
Our healthcare providers.
Yes, our healthcare providers. They're not supposed to be people that would be judgmental. They're supposed to be people that you come to for your problems, and then they'll give you a solution. Because I remember when I was really young, my sister was not feeling too good, so we went to the hospital. So getting to the hospital, I saw this flyer preventing pregnancies and all that. So I'm a very curious person, because I always wanted to be in the medical field. And I started asking the nurse questions that, okay, what's this about? And then the nurse was like, come, how old are you? Have you started having sex? who's your mother, who's your father, that kind of thing. So it was really scary for me. So since then, if I have any issues, I think I'll just keep it to myself than even talk to any nurse or doctor.
Okay, Michael.
Yeah, I share a similar view with them, obviously.
Because you're a man, they share the same thought.
Yeah, I'm supposed to. From my own point of view, it has to be more with our cultural and religious setting and beliefs and background. You know, in some cultures, it's prohibited for you to talk about your sexual reproductive health, talk about your sexual beliefs, sexual opinions. And you know, reproductive system is just a way of talking to your peers. And while in a youth-friendly setting, most of what is done now is associated to the youth. So when you talk about this, it helps you get enlightened. It helps you know the right things to do and the right things and the things not to do. But our cultural system, our religious background, they prohibit against this. They term it sin, or they term it something bad. But I believe it's free for them to encourage people to open up. And in the process of them opening up, you find out their problems and you can help them solve it in the right way.
Okay. Yeah, I think I have something to add to what he said. Another thing that actually hinders a lot of people, not just youths, the society at large, is the myths and misconceptions that come with contraceptive. There are lots of myths that people actually key into. I can remember when I was still in secondary school, and my friend then was talking about her sister. Her sister was married and using contraceptive. She was on a method. And then she had a friend that was also using contraception. And then she was like...
Not married at that time.
They were both married, but I was still in secondary school. We were just having a general discussion because we discussed about everything and anything. So we had that discussion and she was like, oh, that her sister's friend won't stop using contraception because she was getting fatter, and then our own sister was not even getting fatter. So the misconception with gaining weight and many other things really restrict people. They are just myths, because the modern contraception we have today, they actually don't make you gain weight. Like, you just have to watch what you eat and, you know, do regular exercise, which is part of everyday life on a norms. So things like that, the myths and misconception have actually withdrawn people from using
Well, were they on the same type of method at that time?
Yeah, they were actually on the same type of method. That's the funny part of it. They were on the same type of method, but one was gaining weight, the other was not gaining weight.
Body systems.
Body systems, exactly.
And then another problem with not having who to talk to is that if we don't have people to talk to, the youth, they have limited information. So the next people you turn to are your friends who don't know anything. So we don't have parents to talk to. We don't have doctors.
Are you sure you don't have parents to talk to?
We
I'm
do,
sure you have parents to talk to.
Yeah. But African parents will not even want to talk about that kind of thing.
Some parents are actually willing to listen.
And me, I'm not even ready to talk.
She just said
Why?
She just said
I don't even want my mom to have that. Okay, let me just tell you what to do, but okay, that kind of
but
thing.
on the average, only a few parents that are more enlightened could accommodate that, but majority, they'll blow you out.
Okay, it's still Contraceptive Matters with DKT in Nigeria, and sincerely, today's topic is actually interesting, very interesting. I'm beginning to learn so many things from my guests here. I have Anita in the studio, Michael, and Ayomi. They're all sharing their experiences with us when it comes to use of contraceptions in the society. We're actually looking at the International Youth Day celebrated today around the world, but we are looking at another aspect of that, which is youth and contraception, because by 2020, the world, all major players are actually targeting 2020 to ensure all pregnancies are actually wanted. They don't want people to make unwanted decisions about contraception. So moving ahead, according to the World Health Organization, about 70% of women out there that were married or they are still married had their contraception needs met in 2016. But that figure fell, that statistics fell to about 50%. What do you think is responsible for this?
I think the problem is just the myths and misconception. If we can break that barrier, then we would have more people go on contraception methods.
Okay.
Because, and then a woman will come and say, oh, I'm on this method and I feel sick all the time. I'm not seeing my period. She will tell her friend, and the friend
it could be that she's even ovulating at that time.
Exactly. Like, you don't, like, we just need to have more knowledge on the myths and misconception. I think that's the problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think another thing is fear. Fear and misinformation, actually. Because during my IT1 period, I worked in a local government area, a PHC, that's a primary health care center. So in the family planning unit, I came across a lot of women coming for family planning. And the thing about family planning is, before you go through that stage, you're actually meant to be counseled about it. So you know the best method for you. But some women come for family planning counseling and they tell you, oh, I have my friend, Mrs. Lasso so using this method, and it's working for her. I want that same exact method.
It doesn't work
not
that
even
way.
minding the fact that the method might not suit them, because it's different body system, different methods will suit different people.
It doesn't even work that way.
That's just
the healthcare
misinformation.
provider has to take into consideration health conditions and all that before adopting any style or method.
Exactly, and that's what people don't get. They just want to follow whatever their friends say. So I mean, with information, I think that would work really well for people.
Okay, Michael, do you want to chip in?
Yeah, I want to add up something. In my own view, I believe our healthcare providers have a huge role to play in this, because they are health experts. And I could remember my days in the university. When you tell me something, I want to know your source. You can't just tell me that Obi is a boy and I'll just take it like that. You have to tell me your theoretical source. Are you an authority? Where are you coming from? What are your backgrounds? What are the research and the findings? So our healthcare providers are people that have spent years. They have in-depth knowledge on this. So majority of them, because I've been to a few, I notice some of them don't talk much about these contraceptive issues because they believe it's against their faith. Some of them believe it is not right. You know, the myths and the misconception theory and all. So if our healthcare providers can come out, you know, in the course of their assignments, in their private lives, in their family gathering, enlighten people the essence and the importance of using the right family planning contraceptive method, because I could all said, it varies on your system. It varies on your medical history. So the right person to advise you is your healthcare provider. And the healthcare providers, they're not doing much. So I believe they have more role to play in that angle.
Okay, it's still Contraceptive Matters with DKT Nigeria. We take a short break now. When we return, the discussion continues. Please stay with us. Okay, welcome back. It's still Contraceptive Matters with DKT Nigeria, and I'm Olasumbo Modupe. This program is made possible by DKT Nigeria, one of the largest private providers of contraceptives and reproductive health products in the country. And what we do basically on this show is to encourage the use of modern child spacing methods, allowing or encouraging families, especially women, to make smart family planning choices, smart child spacing methods, as well as reduction of sexually transmitted diseases, as well as the most important aspect, reduction of maternal mortality rates in the country. Today is the International Youth Day, observed worldwide, and the theme for this day is youth building peace, the role of youth in building peace, which is key. But we are looking at something different this week. I'm sorry, this week we won't entertain any calls. I'm sure viewers are actually waiting eagerly for us to open the lines. We won't be doing that today. This program is dedicated to the youth today, the youth of this country, because they are key. They play a major role in nation building. And I have with me in the studio Anita Yeyemi,
Hello.
a microbiologist.
Yes.
And Michael Eke, an entertainer.
Of course,
and Ayo Media Folabi, a public health expert. Welcome to, I'm sure you guys are having fun on the program. I have to introduce. Welcome back to the second segment. So, let me ask you, Anita, in what way do you think youth can broaden their orientation when it comes to contraception or reproductive health issues, when it comes to reproductive health issues? In what way do you think youth can broaden their orientation when it comes to that?
Okay, so I think the major thing is information. If we have access to this information, we can have access to different methods of contraception, and we're able to make different choices. So there could be enlightenment programs, educational programs to help enlighten youths on the use of different methods of contraception. For example, now in Nigeria, I searched for something. I saw something online. It was really interesting. It's called BSHAP. That's a campaign program. Okay. BSHAP is for knowing the different types of contraception to use. BSHAP means don't be dull. Be able to know what you want to choose. Also, there's this program we all know, which is the MTV Sugar. Okay. It has to do with passing across information based on entertainment. They're trying to act so you can see how it really works. We as viewers, we'll be able to identify with these characters, we'll be able to sympathize with them. At the same time, they're giving us information about how to prevent unintended pregnancy. Also, in other countries too, they carry out different programs. Like I also saw something on Burkina Faso. I like what they do. They have a program for reproductive health. They're able to teach young ones about your reproductive sexual life. And also in Mali too, they're able to train volunteers, and these volunteers now will go out across the country to talk to different youths. Okay,
what about you, Michael? Do you share the same thoughts with, or you have another
I have a different
perspective to that?
I have a different view, and I'm going to add a little to what Anita rightly said. The online campaign, as Instagram campaign, Be Sharp, it entails knowing the right thing to do. As a youth, obviously you have to be sharp. You don't want to make wrong choices, because wrong choices affect your life, they affect your decision, and in the long run, they affect probably your dreams and your aspirations. So for me, the youth out there should know the various methods of contraceptive. There are a lot of them. We have the hormonal method, we have the non-hormonal method. There are a whole lot of them out there. So you could go online, you could search, you could Google it, you could meet a healthcare provider. They will tell you the different methods. So it's just about enlightenment, about seeking the right information from the right persons. And when you find out the right contraceptive method for you, it's obviously going to help you stay smart, because you're going to make the right decision and you're going to be sharp.
Not just by talking to your friends and peers. No. Because at some point in our lives, we have these friends that we believe he or she knows everything. But at the end of the day, he or she might be wrong.
That's the problem, because you know, they say when you don't ask the right questions from the right people, you might get misled. And even the Bible is against that. The Bible says you should be wary of counsel. So if you seek counsel from people who are not experts, people who are not knowledgeable enough in that field, they might give you the wrong advice, they might give you the wrong method, and you might put yourself in a situation that you won't be happy about.
So Ayomide, what can be done to encourage a healthy reproductive lifestyle?
Well, I'll be chipping into what Michael said and looking at it from a different point of view about having the right information, and I think it should come from home. Starting with our parents, I think we should have proper sex educations coming from our parents at home, because if you don't give your children the proper sex education they need, they go out there and they mix with people when they go into the world, and then you don't know if they are mixing with the right people or the wrong people. So I think we should have proper sex education coming from our parents. This is what you should do, this is what you should not do. They should enlighten you with all the information you need, because information is power, and the power gives you have the power to make the right choice and the healthy choice. So our parents should, I think it really has a lot to do with our parents talking to us about our sexual and reproductive health, because it's really devastating to see teenagers, young girls out there being pregnant with the first child, and then maybe the following year again pregnant with another child. I mean, after the first child as a teenager, it's all right to put her on contraceptions because you already know that she's actually sexually active. Definitely, you don't want to, at that young age, a lot is going to be at stake at that period in her life. I think it's best to put such a child on contraception, and then you can prevent future reoccurrence of the incident. So
it's all about once bitten, twice shy.
Once bitten,
so
twice shy, exactly.
Twice.
Yeah, Sumbo, I would like to add a little to what Ayo said. Our family agents made us to understand that charity begins at home. So our parents are home, they are the first family agents every child has. But the system in Africa, the system in the less developing countries, you find out that parents find it difficult to communicate with their children. Parents don't know the problems their children are passing through, both in their reproductive system, both in their personal life, both in their psychological life. So if you're far away from your child, obviously your child won't be able, she will not find it comfortable discussing her reproductive health, because it is very necessary. It is her rights, it is her system. So parents have a huge role to play in this. It boils down to a whole lot of issues. If your children are comfortable telling you the problems they face with their peer, because you know, children and the youth, they find it convenient discussing their issues amongst their friends, but it shouldn't be so. It should be the other way around. They should be more comfortable telling their parents how their system. You might experience a disorder, probably a delay in your monthly period. You should be able to tell your parents, this is what I'm experiencing in my system. And your parents, who is more advanced, like I said before, an authority, would tell you, this is the reason why it is so, this is the reason why it is not so. And they will give you the right advice on how to go. So our parents are the number one role before you even go to the other sectors, because they are the major contributors, both positively and negatively. So if we're going to have a positive impact as the World Organization is expecting, the parents has to play a major role.
Okay, it's still Contraceptive Matters with DKT in Nigeria, and we've been discussing youth and contraceptives, youth and the use of contraceptives. And I'm so sorry, today we won't open the lines. Viewers at home, I'm sure you are eagerly waiting to participate. But youth, you can actually do that. You can join the conversation. You can send your questions, inquiries, share your thought with us on our RHS platform by typing RHS space your question to 38350. RHS space your question to 38350. You can also call our mobile friendly line. You have a healthcare provider on standby to receive all your calls. 080-902-79018. 080-902-79018. You can also log on to www.onianbanana.com. www.onianbanana.com. I'll take the number again, 0809-027-9018. 0809-027-9018. You can equally send your questions, your inquiries to RHS, type space your question to 38350. RHS space type your question to 38350. And earlier on, you know, I actually asked about why youth, or your views about contraceptions. What are the reasons for the use of contraception by youth?
Okay, there are various reasons why youths use contraception. I think one of the most important thing is the fact that they're trying to prevent unintended pregnancies. And also prevention of STIs/STDs, because we need to accept the fact and come to terms with the reality that youth are actually the most sexually active people right now in the world. Majority of the youth are sexually active, and they need to, they need to prevent pregnancies that they are not ready for. They need to plan their life. They have things they are looking up to in future. And the thing about having an unplanned pregnancy is that it leads to abortions and then resulting to death at the long run. So I think one really important reason youth use contraception is to prevent unintended pregnancies and also to prevent STIs and STDs.
Okay, Anita.
So I think basically the reason why most girls, let me focus on girls now. The reason why most girls, youth girls, right, will use contraception is because of the fear of not being able to see their period.
Okay.
Most people are scared that, oh, I've not seen my period. So in order to prevent that fear, they would want to protect themselves from pregnancy and from that kind, because that kind of fear can affect you psychologically. I may be in the class and I've not seen my period, and when the lecturer is like saying something, I will not hear what he's saying because I'm waiting for my period. I wake up in the morning and I want to see my period, that kind of thing. So to prevent that kind of fear, most people would use contraception.
Okay, what about you, Michael, as a guy?
Yeah, I'm actually supposed to balance the equation because Anita is standing with the girls. So I have to stand with both here.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm an entertainer, and I believe the youth, they all have a dream. Everyone born into this earth has a dream. And that is the number one reason I believe the youth should use contraceptive. I'll give you an example. I used to know a teenager around my neighborhood. She was learning tailoring as a skill. She was doing good at it, very good at it. Then a couple of months later, I heard she's pregnant. And I asked why. Obviously, they told me, you know the reason. And I was feeling bad, really bad. So a couple of months later, I found out she has gone back to her village. And you could see that transcends to her generation, because a teenager being pregnant, she's going to give birth, carry another baby that she's not yet ready to. So you could see one of the major reasons why the youth should use contraceptive is to help them stay focused, help them pursue their dreams, because the boys and the girls, they are sexually active people, but you don't need such distractions in your life. You need to stay focused, pursue your dreams, and when you achieve what you want, you can, do the needful, like the Bible said, seek the kingdom of God first, and every other thing should be added unto you. So in this view, you should seek your dream first. So contraceptive helps you stay focused and pursue your dream. So I believe that's one of the major reasons youth should patronize contraceptive.
I like what he said about dreams and aspirations. A girl may be in school and then she gets pregnant. She has no choice because she needs to go on maternity leave. She has no choice than to drop out of school and give birth. And in just few cases, your mother will even tell you, okay, go back to school, I'll take care of the child. But in some cases, some people will be like, you got pregnant, you opened your legs, go and take care of the child. So because of that, after staying at home for like 3 years, some people that are not determined, they may not want to go back to school. It's only few people that would want to go back and complete their education. So it affects your dreams and aspiration. It disrupts everything.
Okay, before we go ahead, I want to remind our young viewers out there that there's actually an ongoing campaign by the Family Planning 2020. That's the target, the world target now, and it's tagged Your Life Campaign. Your Life Campaign. The campaign centers around a vision of a world where every pregnancy is wanted. Every pregnancy is wanted, and the focus is to improve awareness of contraception, to enable young people to make informed choices on their sexual and reproductive health. With that, I think almost everybody out there has an internet-friendly phone. Just log on to that site, FP 2020, on your browser. I'm sure you'll get one or two things rather than just asking around, asking your friends, your uninformed friends out there. So in your own little way, I'm sure you're enlightened. Have you ever thought of or thought about enlightening your peers out there?
Oh, that is my number one thing. Even at home, they all know me. Not just about your sexual and reproductive health now, but in everything generally, I do that a lot. I can't see something going wrong and not say something about it. That is just me at home,
so
among my friends.
You say
and I say it instantly. That is not healthy. I do it instantly. I tell you that, oh, that is not healthy.
Is it because you're a public health expert?
Well, growing up, right from when I was little, I've always been an health enthusiast. I've always been interested in anything about health. I wanted to study medicine though, but I didn't study medicine. But I found so much love in studying public health, which is all about preventive medicine, preventing before curing. So I'm all about that. I educate people on the spot if I see something wrong going on. So definitely, yes.
Okay, Michael, have you ever done anything on your own part?
Well, I think
you know, in the past, you sought your friends help. Have you ever done anything on your own part?
Yeah, of course, I do that every day. That's like my motto, you know. There's a public saying that the extent to which you understand the purpose of life is to the extent at which you serve or help people. And service is something that drives us, you understand? So as an entertainer, as a youth, in every day of my life, when I see someone doing something that is right, I'll encourage you. If it's wrong, I'll tell you this is not right. Okay. So I preach the gospel of doing the right thing, and it has been helping me, and I know people around me can testify to that.
Okay, Anita.
Yeah, I do that all the time, and then when I start talking, they'll be like, we know you know, that kind of thing. Because in school then, I have some friends that would say, oh, I do this sometimes when I'm on my period, I can put cotton wool and then still go ahead and have sexual intercourse. And as a youth, I'm supposed to be like, oh, that's nice, maybe I'll try it. But then I'll be like, that's really unhealthy and that's really disgusting. And I start telling them, okay, why don't you just do this and that kind of thing. So I'm always trying to talk to people. Apart from that, I talk about sexually transmitted diseases. It's good to prevent it, but if you could not, then there are also some things to do about it. So I talk about it every time.
Okay, let me ask you guys some personal questions now. Have you ever been caught in a position to make erratic decisions about reproductive health issues? No. Who will go first?
Michael.
Okay.
So I have to bear the cat now.
So,
okay.
Tell us.
To be honest, I've not really been in a position where I have to make erratic decision, because I'm the kind of person that I plan myself. So whatever decision that comes before me, I know what I'm supposed to do. So I don't make decision out of the blues. I have to think them through. So whatever decision I'm making, if I'm going to go out with some friends, it is in my list. I'm someone who is more organized. I plan my daily life, I plan my social life, I plan my work life. So I don't put myself in a situation where I cannot control myself. And that is one problem majority of our youths face. They fall under the peer pressure, they fall under peer influence, so they cannot control the outside effects. So as a result of that, they constantly put themselves in situations where they cannot make the right decision. Okay. So for me, I've been able to use a barrier against that.
Okay.
Well, like you already know, I'm informed. So I would be really silly to actually put myself in such a situation. Okay. Since I have all the information I need, all the educational background and whatever information is just at the tip of my finger. So I'm always very careful with whatever choices I make. So I am very careful.
Anita?
I've not put myself in that position because I'm also really enlightened and informed. And if I don't know something, I would research about it. I would download some medical files and read about it. So I've not been able to put myself in that position.
Okay, so thank you guys for coming on the show. I'm sure you had fun today.
Yeah,
I'm sure you learned a lot today. It's been Contraceptive Matters with DKT Nigeria. I'm afraid we have to go now. Time is not actually on our side. And thank you so much, Anita Iyeyemi, a microbiologist, and Michael A.K., an entertainer, and the ever-smiling Ayomi Afolabi, our public health expert. Thank you so much, guys, for coming on the show.
For having us.
Thank you for having us.
So, it's still Contraceptive Matters with DKT Nigeria. This is where we say thank you for watching today's episode. Please, our youth out there, don't be put on the spot. Don't make uninformed choices. Make only smart choices. Your future is key. You have a key role in building the country, in building the world. I'm Olasungbo Mudukwe. Thanks for watching.